Hello, everyone. Let's have a look at solving equations. Now, this might be review for you, or you might be looking at it for the first time, but let's go right back to the beginning. When you solve equations, you need to be conscious of opposite operations. So let's have a look here. The opposite to addition. Now, addition, that's the plus symbol. The opposite to addition is subtraction. That's that symbol. So let's have a look at an example of what's happening there. If we do an example, I started with 10 and I added 3. I'd get 13. But if I take 3 away, then I'd be back to 10. So this is the opposite operations happening. Add 3, take 3. That's the opposite operation. And the reverse is true. So the opposite to subtraction is also addition. So subtraction there, same thing, works both ways. So let's do the same example. If I had 10, but I took away 3 first, and then I added 3, I'd still end up back where I started. So if I take away 3, the opposite is to add 3. If I add 3, then the opposite is to take away 3. That's the opposite of addition and subtraction, or plus and minus. So then let's look at this next one. What's the opposite to multiplication? The opposite, now multiplication is that time symbol. It is division. That's that symbol. Or sometimes you can write division as, like I can have 10 divided by 5. That also means division if I just have the bar. So let's do an example. Let's do the 10 divided by 5. 10 times 5, sorry. If I go 10 times 5, that will give me 50. And now if I divide that by 5, 50 divided by 5 gives me 10. So I'm back to where I started. And also, what's the opposite to division? The opposite to, again, remind you, division is that symbol. And the opposite to division is multiplication. So let's do it the other way around again. What if I went 10 divided by 5? That will give me 2. And then if I times 5, 2 by 5 will bring me back to 10. So opposite to addition is subtraction and vice versa. Opposite to multiplication is division and vice versa. Now, when we solve one-step equations, we're using this knowledge all the time. Although I reckon you can just do it in your head usually. So when I look at this question here, I'm saying, what do I have to add to 5 to give me 12? Now, many people can just do that in their head straight away, and they know that the answer is 7, because 7 plus 5 will give you 12. But let's have a look at what's happening using these opposite operations and things. There I'm starting with x, and I'm adding 5. So what's the opposite to adding 5? It's taking 5 away. Now, with equations, what you do to one side, you do to the other. So if I take 5 away there, I've got 5 plus 5 minus 5. That goes up with x equals 12 minus 5 is 7, which is what we thought. So then let's have a look at this one. What's happened to begin with the y, and then I take away 3. Okay, what's the opposite to taking away 3? Adding 3. Add 3 there. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So that goes, and then I'm left with y is equal to 13. Now, you probably would have got that straight away. You just looked at the question and said, what do I have to take? What do I take 3 away from to end up at 10? And the answer is 13. Now, this question, next one, you've got to remember that 5m means 5 times m equals 20, okay? So what number do I have to times by 5 that will give me 20? Now, I reckon many of you will get that straight away, and you know the answer is 4. But let's have a look at what we would do to do it looking at opposite operations. Okay, this says times by 5. Opposite to timesing by 5 is dividing by 5. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. So you get 1m, or just m. And 20 divided by 5 is 4, which is what you thought the answer was to begin with. Okay, last one here. We've got some number divided by 3 gives me 2. So what number do I divide by 3 and I'll end up at 2? Well, I reckon many of you will know that the answer is 6, because 6 divided by 3 is 2. But let's have a look and do it the way that with the opposite operations. So we're starting here with the n. Now what's happening? We're dividing by 3. So the opposite to dividing by 3 is timesing 3. So I'm going to times this by 3, and what I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other. So I end up with a 3 on the top and a 3 on the bottom, which cancels out to 1. so that I've got just n is equal to 6, which is what you would have got in the first place.